let me go ahead and. All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for our mentoring program interest meeting with ATD Suncoast and FTC for fall 2025. We prepared some slides, but this is not a super formal presentation. Feel free to raise your physical hand if you'd like to be on video. I realize I said that strangely, but the classic hand raise, or raise your hand in Zoom, or pop a question in the chat as we go along. John and I will be going through the slides, and then we've got some insights from Julia as well, and she is queen of monitoring the chat and sharing links. So we'll be keeping an eye out for anything we can do to explain things along the way. So, welcome. As we go along, John and I might share some stories from our mentoring experiences of the past, but this is actually our first year with the ATD Suncoast Mentoring Program for TechCom. So excited to introduce this program to you guys, and thank you for making time to be here. So, John, would you like to introduce yourself? If you say no, then I'll introduce you, and I don't know if you're ready for that.
Yeah, the threatening introduction. Like, I will say nice things about you.
I have stories. I got dirt on John, I promise.
Oh no, for sure. Like, there, I mean, mutual dirt. In
Yeah.
fact, worth. But like, yeah, aside from teasing and dirt, yeah, I can introduce myself. So, hey everybody, I'm John. I am a current technical writer. I do software technical writing with GitHub, but also when it comes to volunteering, I am currently a program manager for the ATD Suncoast TechCom SIG, which is the group right now we're partnering with FTC to create the mentoring program with. And me, Bethany, Julia, we were each part of a recent organization, now sunsetted, but FTC, the Society for Technical Communication. A silent tear from Bethany, as I agree. RIP. But a lot of
Mhm.
us have migrated over to here, which is also just as great professional organization. And we're carrying on a lot of our traditions, like putting forth a mentoring program just in a new way, just something from the ground up, and but with a lot of familiar things here. So uh, I do volunteering. I was also part of FTC for a long time in leadership, including the president role and coordinating the mentoring program for a couple of years, which I'm continuing now as well. So outside of work in technical writing and volunteering in each of our communities for a while, I graduated from UCF with a bachelor's in technical writing, and also, um, yeah, I'm sure we'll share more about mentoring stories as we get into everything. But that's a little bit about me, my background with school, volunteering, and work life.
Thanks, John. And for those I haven't met, which I think is most people on the call, my name is Bethany Aguad. I'm the director of product documentation at a company called Bullhorn, which does staffing software. And I'm an active volunteer for the ATD Suncoast TechCom SIG. Let me make sure I'm admitting people to the call as they join. And I'm happy to be a co coordinator of the mentoring program. I had a long journey at UCF, getting a bachelor's and master's in English technical communication, and served as FTC president for a while. And I've been mentoring at work and through my volunteer work since 2016, which is now creeping up on a decade. I'm going to have to do some sort of milestone celebration next year because I've been told next year is 2026. I'm trying to wrap my head around that, but I believe it to be true. And before that, I previously joined the STC mentoring program as a mentee, a little baby mentee, back in 2011. So that was where I began my mentoring experience before moving to the other side and doing some mentoring. And as we go along, it's not on the table of contents, but if you want, ask in the chat. We'll tell you the John kidnapping story. It's part of our mentoring tradition,
A classic.
but not on the agenda, so you have to ask for it. Otherwise, we'll be talking about what the Association for Talent Development is. As we've said ATD a few times, explain what that means. And I'll talk about student membership in ATD and the benefits there. Then we'll get into our mentoring program. How does TechCom mentoring at ATD Suncoast work? And then next steps if you're interested in participating in the program.
I've never heard someone say kidnapping stories so calmly, and I think it's because we say it too often. So, yeah,
We
for
have a
anyone new, it's
question.
fun.
Who other than me has kidnapped John? I don't know how many people have kidnapped John. He
A
goes
lot.
quite willingly into people's cars, so very
I
trusting.
think I just become friends, like, and just let things happen. And I'm glad that I'm still okay to this day.
Yeah, vibes based judgment.
Yeah,
The
vibes
vibes are
alone.
good.
Yeah, and no red flag radar.
And so far, it's working just fine.
Yeah, so far.
So, John, do you want to tell us a little bit about what ATD is?
Yeah, absolutely. And so with ATD, we are ATD Suncoast, which is the Association for Talent Development. And a little bit about us is that we're a professional membership organization supporting those who develop the knowledge and skills of employees and organizations. We're a community of the most engaged talent development professionals in West Coast of Florida who meet regularly and connect, learn, and share our common passion. So, in short, we're a professional group here to provide resources, education opportunities, networking opportunities, all the above for anyone who's in this region of the West Coast of Florida, Central Florida, and of course, we welcome anyone who wants to get involved. We're just the host for these sorts of programs. And so the group has been a great one to be part of. And for membership, there are a lot of benefits, including being part of a mentoring program like this, attending calls that where you can meet people, you can learn a lot. So yeah, ATD Suncoast, great organization. And our Suncoast chapter is ever growing with lots of opportunities for students and professionals alike, especially in tech comm and talent development.
So Julia has shared the link in the chat, but just a little bit about the TechCom SIG at ATD. When the previous dissolution of the other organization happened, ATD Suncoast reached out and especially working with Julia, hats off to Julia for being the critical founding member of the TechCom SIG with ATD. They offered us a new home where we can support technical communicators under their umbrella of talent development, knowing that TechCom, instructional design, learning, education are all very closely aligned. So we are new, formed in 2025. We're a little baby organization, though most of us have known each other for a while. And we're here to serve technical communicators in Central Florida and beyond. We're proud of our close ties to UCF, so thank you to FTC for giving us this opportunity to present and do this mentoring program. And thanks to John and Julia, who do our program work, we have monthly educational meetings and also networking. So if you're looking for networking, fellowship, and sharing information with other technical communicators, we are happy to welcome you to our organization. Now I think we'll get a little bit into student membership. So, John, I'm going to throw it to you. And I think Julia's also grabbing some links. And I realized I didn't put on this slide, but I did put it later. We're giving you a real hard sell on ATD student membership, but a year's fee is $10. The organization for ATD Suncoast has, worked to keep those costs very reasonable, knowing that most students are not rolling in money unless something has changed since I was a student. And let me know. But I'm assuming that's probably still true. So it's quite reasonable for a professional organization. You get all of the benefits that John will share with you.
Yeah. And membership, a lot of benefits wrapped up in just something really accessible. And ATD Suncoast as a whole, just by being part of the chapter and the region, that has a lot of benefits. Being part of our TechCom SIG, joining as a student or new professional member, also has its extra share of benefits as well. So with being part of ATD Suncoast in general, just some of the things listed off here that the chapter provides are professional development programs and certifications, industry-leading conferences and events, cutting-edge research and publications, networking opportunities with peers and thought leaders, and resources for best practices in talent development and what that looks like. So even outside of our TechCom group, which hosts our own monthly meetings and programs like this mentoring program, you get access to all the events hosted by leaders and guest speakers and professionals in our Central Florida and West Florida region. And so that can be monthly socials, in person or online, quarterly events, get-togethers, guest speaker events in the wider field of talent development, instructional design. So if you're looking to gain career skills, you have that breadth and depth of things available through ATD Suncoast and all of the things in that region. And so for our TechCom SIG, our specific group right here, we offer a few bonus things, which are some of the things we're going to highlight now in this call and in the coming weeks, including our mentoring program. So you're about to hear about that. The benefits of being part of our group is just that you can enroll to be a mentee, or you can get paired with a professional mentor. Or if you're someone on the call who wants to be a mentor, then you can do so as well. A great opportunity for knowledge exchange in a specific way with a community that you can get tight knit with community and mentors who you can really gain specific skills from related to TechCom, something that just is really a benefit, just getting that close-knit networking and learning experience. There's leadership development opportunities, local job listings, networking, and tech comm across the state of Florida. So yeah, we really want to make sure that kind of by being part of us, whether a student member or beyond, just by being part of the TechCom SIG, you gain access to specific resources that are tailored to you. Even if it's just having opportunities to have a conversation with someone in the field, being paired up with a mentor for someone in the field, or just having socials and networking opportunities with us as you just continue to find community and just continue to find opportunities to um, make your time in TechCom or with our with ATD in general, feel more like home. That's what we want it to be. So the TechCom SIG offers all those specific benefits and all the wider benefits of being part of our regional chapter.
All right, thank you, John. So now we'll jump into the mentoring program. How does TechCom mentoring at ATD Suncoast work? John mentioned some of the benefits of joining our program and our community, but just to really highlight it, we've got career guidance, looking for that job search advice and assistance. John and I both have some stories, as does Julia, about that being our incredibly mercenary entry into the mentoring program in need of preparation for a job or immediate job. And then, polishing your resume, growing your portfolio, and then developing your network. Not trying to make a generalization, but I'll do it anyways. Many technical writers are introverts, and it's nice to have an entry into a larger pool of people who are friendly and ready to help you. And I've been grateful that people open that door for me. And I know John is probably more connected to TechCom even than I am now and knows everybody. Uh, and Julia, you've got all the ATD folks. So it's just great to be able to pull on that network as you're looking for advice, career direction, or job opportunities because people want to help.
It is nice being around fellow introverts and fellow writers,
We
people
welcome
who get it.
extroverts too. We need you to balance out the introverts, so don't feel unwelcome if you're an extrovert. We just skew heavily in one direction.
Yeah, it's like yin and yang, like a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit of extroversion to
But yin
spice
and
it up.
yang makes it sound equal balance.
Okay, just like yin.
It's yin and little yang.
Yeah, yin and yang.
So, on how the actual program works, we do interest meetings like this where we talk about the program, and then we're opening our application. So, that's for mentors and mentees to apply. When we say apply, this is not like a rigorous, we reject you if we find you unworthy for our program. It's more just giving us the information about who you are, what you're looking for, especially what areas of TechCom you want to focus on, what you want to learn, since we use that to then go to our next step, pairing mentors and mentees based on the applications. We don't grow our mentors in a lab yet. So we can't guarantee a one-to-one match. God, John.
You did.
But we do our best to pair based on a little personality assessment and also areas of interest, availability, so that you have the best chance to be having a really beneficial relationship with your mentor, and also just to make sure we have enough mentors to meet demand for our mentees. So it's a more of an art than a science, but all the information you provide is used in order to make that pairing. Once we confirm with you that we've paired you with a mentor, we ask you to sign up for ATD membership. That's the $10 annual membership fee to join our organization. And then from there, we schedule a kickoff to introduce mentors and mentees for the first time. So you won't know who your mentor is until you get to meet them at the kickoff, which we now do on Zoom since all of our pairings are virtual. And to clarify, if you are paired with a mentor or want to be paired with a mentor who lives near you, we'll do our best. Some people do like the opportunity to meet face to face, but we certainly don't restrict anyone and say you cannot meet your mentor because it's a virtual mentoring relationship. And I know there's going to be some in person events as we go along, so there'll be opportunities as we're passing through. And then after you have the kickoff, just get to do an introductory meeting. Then from there, we hand it off to the mentor mentee to schedule their upcoming meetings, whether that'll be in person, online, or just starting by email or messenger. We intend for these to be really personalized mentoring relationships because not everyone needs the same thing. So you will do a mentor mentee agreement with your paired mentor, and that's kind of your guiding document as you go forward. It is not a measurement of success. John and I do not come back at the end of the year and say, this is what you set out to do and give you a performance review. on how your mentoring has been, but more just to make sure you guys are aligned and you've communicated on how often you're going to talk to each other, how often you're going to meet, what projects you want to focus on, what are your mutual goals, so that you have that as a starting point and then carry that through for the rest of the mentor relationship. And one thing I think Julia always reminds me, and I didn't put on the slides, the program runs fall through spring, but we do not cut you off from your mentor after that point. That's partly why John and Julia are still here, stuck with me years later. So we're happy to see mentoring relationships continue beyond the program, but that's our actual program years running through the spring. I'm going to pause real quick. Any questions so far? Any extroverts? It's seeming like not, and I've been proven right again. Mainly based around Orlando. So our original program started in Orlando, and then of course working closely with UCF is primarily around Orlando, but we do know there's folks at USF. So we are certainly not limiting it uh, to a particular location. I currently don't live in either of those places and basically join everything virtually. And we've had people who have joined from out of state for our mentoring program as well. So not limited in any way to a particular location. Mentees do not have to be a student. We give priority to graduating seniors to make sure that we're pairing them first, and then other students, and then we make sure to pair everyone else. When you say spring, will it be late spring, closer to May? Oh, for the end of the program. Typically, we run it through the fall spring semesters, so it'd be after the spring semester is when the program ends. But again, I don't think I've ever ended a mentoring relationship in the spring, and we just keep talking. Good
Yeah.
questions.
And I would say around the spring usually lines up, especially if there's graduation time, maybe
Mhm.
because that time can be transitional and just preparing for graduation or preparing for the next semester or going back home for summer, things like that. So, yeah, we typically have it be around springtime where we say, okay, that for some it's a natural drop-off point, but for others it just naturally continues. Um,
We have a question.
yeah.
Can we kidnap our mentors? Lol, JK. I like the clarification that it's a joke, so I didn't take it too
Yeah.
seriously.
No, mutual kidnapping is
I know. I
totally
was gonna
fine.
say. I think I've done something worse than being kidnapped by John. I think I helped John move.
Yeah, I did recruit you to and
Far
the
worse
fat
than a kidnapping.
and their fat and it's gonna sound so bad. I was gonna say and the rest of your family.
It's true.
I sound like Jigsaw or something.
You're like, ha ha ha, and then you will rent a moving van and come help me move.
Yes, as an act of friendship slash kidnapping.
No regrets. It was an
That was
exciting
the long
time.
con. That was the long con of mentoring. Just
Yeah.
become good enough so that you help me move.
You're like, sure, I was investing in myself as a professional, but also good to know someone over the age of 25 who can who can drive a U-Haul.
Yeah, that was yeah. Post grad was an interesting time. It's like, do we continue? Yes, and for services of moving. Yes, all the good mentoring things. Not
All the good things.
guaranteed. I'm sorry, not all. Um, hopefully, ideally,
Not all
everyone.
your mentors will help you move. Some
Yeah,
of them might not be located close enough.
yeah. This isn't in the fine print, so yeah. But anyways, yeah, good questions so far, and yeah, like Bethany said, our program is hosted by us in Central Florida or the general Central Florida region, but it's pretty much open to a wide range. Mentors have come from out of state, some mentees have as well. So with the joy of just either asynchronous communication or virtual calls and everything like that, we can pair, pretty much anyone who has interest.
Yeah, and ATD Suncoast is on the West Coast. I actually live directly on the opposite side of Florida, on the East Coast. I know we have a long-standing rivalry um, because you have superior beaches and we have, I don't know, the Space Center. So it's hard to say who's winning. Um, but sometimes we do get together and sort of meet in the middle in Orlando sometimes when we can.
Yeah, I guess a couple meet in the middle things that we try to highlight sometimes are during the holidays. We try to do a holiday get together, like a dinner for um well with our past organization and with FTC in general. The holidays are a good time for gathering. A lot of times it's bring your mentor, bring your mentee time as well. So that can be fun. And that can be virtual calls or in-person dinners. And then in the summer, we usually have our kind of end of program year for the chapter, which is when we do planning for the following year. We celebrate all the things about the past year, usually virtual, sometimes in person. So yeah, some milestones we try to get everybody together to celebrate virtually or in person, and it's a great time to meet up with your mentor.
Yeah, we got Italian ice one time afterwards. That was nice.
We did. My
Hmm.
idea because I love Italian ice.
John's like, I want credit for that Italian ice.
Yeah, I think that was my first act of power in my new leadership role last time was going for Italian ice.
You're like, as executive. This is
Executive decision.
mhm. Well, you've heard a little bit along the way, but we haven't really shared our stories, and we have Julia with us as well to share a little bit about what we've taken away from our mentoring experiences on both sides. So, Julia, if you don't mind introducing yourself, tell us a little about your mentoring.
Everybody, I'm Julia Southwick. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a technical writer at GHT Precise Systems Company. I originally joined the mentoring program as a fresh grad from UCF, and I thought, in my naivety and mostly stubbornness, I can get a job by myself. Boy, was I wrong. Thank you, Bethany.
Happy to
Bethany
help.
became my mentor and helped me find not just one, but also a second job. You know, COVID. It was a thing.
Hmm.
So now I've been at JHT since August of 2020, so just over 5 years. Going pretty well. And not only was I Bethany's mentee, I also mentor Joy. You might have met her, and if you haven't, she's a lovely person I hope you get to meet at some point. And of course, when we were in our previous organization, STC Florida, I was head of the newsletter. We currently do not have a TechCom newsletter that is rolling as a publishing thing, but I do have in the back end, in the works, an introductory article. So in the coming weeks, if you would like to send me an article to publish on the TechCom SIG blog, let me know and I'll publish it for you.
Yeah, Julia's here to boost your SEO as you're going, help those search engines find you and your work. Oh, you have a volunteer's tribute to edit. Look at that. We've got a noted. Thank you.
The
Fantastic.
future newsletter grows in power. I like this.
Why do we sound so sinister, John? Kidnapping,
It's
growing in power,
yeah, I guess it's
long
part of our
cons.
it's part of our brand now.
Well, John, you've already introduced yourself. Do you want to go next on your mentoring story?
Yeah, I can hop in. So a little bit about my mentoring story. So I guess a little bit of a recap. Um, is right now I'm a technical writer for GitHub, software company, and I mentoring is a large part of my professional development journey from school until now. So I started at UCF end of 2018, and I had, I went in knowing that I wanted to do technical writing, but still ramping up and didn't know where to get my footing. And then about a year or so into that, um, end of 2019, I got involved in FTC and our old organization, STC Florida. This was a mix of a few things. I would say um, a lot of good encouragement at the right time. Sometimes also um, me saying yes to everything. I'm like, oh, this sounds cool, which has come up already. So my professor at the time and our past advisor, Dr. Applin, I was in his class for TechCom. He said you should join FTC, and I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Went great. Like I just went for it, and then he's like, oh, we need a leader. Yeah, sure. And then keeps on going from there. This led me to, seeing what's next, basically, like be going beyond the club and seeing what the professional organization, STC Florida at the time, had to offer. And that is where I learned about the mentoring program. And it's something that I'd heard about, and through like I would say throughout that fall, I had been knowing that STC Florida had a ton of programs to host and a lot of things I wanted to attend. Um, I had attended one at the start, and I'm like, okay, I'll think about going to more. Then, through a long story short, I ran into Bethany at a UCF event where she was talking about TechCom, and then I was like, wait a minute, oh, we got to talking about the mentoring program, and that's when the kidnapping happened. She said, "Oh, you want to join the mentoring program? Let's ride there together. Get in my car." And so I
You want to
did.
go to a meeting? Come, get in my car.
Yeah,
Come with me now. Arcus campus person whose name I don't even know yet. Come.
yeah,
Texting my husband. I might be kidnapping a student, but he is coming willingly.
yeah. And I'm like, "Oh, I know her face. She seemed cool.
She
I
seems
think she
cool.
mentioned games once. Yeah,
Yeah, the
why not?
vibes are good.
The vibes are good. Thankfully, the vibes were good. I'm still here today, so that's a pretty big win.
Either that or
But
Stockholm syndrome.
yeah, one of the two. I'll figure it out eventually. But yeah, then I heard got into the mentoring program. I had another mentor at the time for about a year, and it was a good intro to the program. I got opportunities to get some of my schoolwork reviewed, some of my personal projects reviewed, just to kind of either beef up things or to pick up new skills, like skills with Microsoft Word and Excel, learning
Mhm.
about things like using macros and templates. All those things were just helpful to me on like the start of my tech hub mentoring journey. And yeah, just a way for me to develop both those tech com skills and those career skills. I didn't know what job I wanted yet, but I also learned a bit about what jobs and companies are out there in tech com, what to look for, what technical writing jobs are out there or related. So I had that mentor for about a year, and then the following year, my junior year, is when I got paired up with Bethany. And that year, a lot of things kind of combined at once in a good way. Through that mentoring relationship, I continued to gain that tech com knowledge. We would look over learning software programs, or I would have my resume or past projects reviewed. Career skills wise, just looking for jobs, considering what was next, learning about just what Bethany did in her job, for example, just kind of asking questions, a back and forth relationship like that, and leadership skills as well. Just at the time, I was doing FTC leadership, and it really helped just having, wind at my sails, a lot of um, both encouragement and advice on like how to run programs, things that did really transfer into the professional world, like how to,
How
um,
to run a meeting.
yeah, how to run a meeting, exactly, and how to do advertising or run programs, or even just how to um, write marketing copy, things like that. So a little bit of everything in short, but it really did help me when I was ready to take that next step on my tech com journey. So after all that was said and done, I got an internship, um, which led into a full-time job at L3 Harris Technologies, a defense contractor, which is
Space
um,
Coast.
yeah, on the Space Coast. Yeah, shout out to the Space Coast. So it's a defense contractor on the Space Coast, doing technical writing for them. I was with them for a few years before switching to my current role, but a lot of those things that I learned in mentoring were directly transferable. The tech com skills and the programs that were used. At my job, we often used Microsoft Word and a couple other programs. I learned a lot about that through mentoring, just even just formatting documents, improving my both my tech skills and my writing skills. The public speaking positions, sometimes I would be on a team and I would have to present about what I wrote, or I would, just any mix of things that involve being in a team setting and contributing well. Those directly contributed. Yeah, so mentoring really paved the way for a lot of things. It's something that maybe it is a Stockholm syndrome talking, but I'm still here because it's just been great. There's always new things to learn. Mentoring is also just beyond having a mentor and networking, it creates friendships, it creates a genuine, just professional partnership as well. There's so many ways that a mentoring connection can go that, yeah, you really don't know until you get in it. But if you have a goal in your mind, like I want to get into this field, I want to get into this role, or just I want someone to talk to about, my journey through the field and who can, be by my side during that. Yeah, mentoring helped me with that. And it's just continued to. And I haven't been an official mentor, but I like to do the spirit of mentoring through, yeah, Bethany's giving me the eye because she's like, soon you will be an official
Soon.
mentor.
We will harvest all of this wonderful experience and you will be transformed into a mentor, much like
Yes.
Julia was before you.
Yes, this is very Star Wars. I say it again. Just good. Yeah.
Good.
Um,
On,
but
join us. Join us. We have cookies.
the energy is sinister and yet generous.
That's our vibe.
That is the vibe. But yeah, it's been great. It's helped me in a lot of different areas and would really recommend to anybody looking into mentoring.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing, John. Feel free to ask follow-up questions for John. He is here of his own free will and he scheduled the call, I promise. For me, I'll keep it relatively short. joined the mentoring program because I was getting ready to graduate with my bachelor's at TechCom, and I was hitting that quandary of I have these grades that are good. How do I take that and turn it into a job? Like, how do I go to an adult that works at a company and get them to pay me to do work? So my foundation was really pretty straightforward. John was was earlier in his journey and perhaps a bit more sophisticated in what he was looking for. And I was like, how do I get a job? How do I convince someone that I can do it? How do I know I can do it? What's it like out there? What's normal? I've been in, like an academic bubble, and I know I can write and I know I can edit and I have the core skills, but I don't know how to translate that. And I was really lucky that I sat next to Dan Voss, who got to know me at a meeting and said, "Hey, you want to run a mentoring program with me?" And much like John, I said, "Yes," not knowing what I was getting into, but I'm so grateful I did. And I owe a lot of my career to my time volunteering first as a mentee and then later as a mentor. I always had ambitions of becoming a leader, which I'm very grateful that I have the opportunity to do that now in my role at Bullhorn. And I grew those skills alongside my TechCom skills through volunteerism, through projects, through leading initiatives, through working with people all across the globe. So that's something that ATD can bring as well, is the opportunity just to build cool stuff with other talented people and build that experience and that knowledge and that confidence in yourself, like, I can do this. Because it's hard when you just haven't done it before. And it's a very supportive space to try things out and to know that you can make mistakes. And everyone's a volunteer. Everyone wants the same things. Everyone cares about the same ideals. Everyone, thinks that typos are painful and white space matters and argues about commas. Like, it's not just the what can I get out of it, because that's where I started, but was the I have found a community of people that I can understand and that understand a part of me and what I want to do and what matters to me that the rest of the world doesn't necessarily share. So, kind of, I guess, really cherishing that, but then also taking from that, how do I become the kind of professional I want to be? For me, it was like, how do I move into leadership? How do I take my skills of writing and translate that into a broader, we have Oxford comma forever. Yes, I'm also pro Oxford comma, but there are naysayers and they have their points. So most tech people, I think, are pro Oxford comma. That's what makes it exciting. But as I think about where TechCom is going, part of the reason many years ago when I was in high school, I picked this as my degree, I was excited because I thought, I don't know what the profession's going to look like 10 years from now. Because that was the point where you were learning to write documents to be printed. Not that that doesn't happen anymore, but that was the primary model, was thinking I will write manuals and they will be printed and bound and people will hold them in their hands. Still applicable in some industries, but more and more we're developing things for the web and all sorts of different media. And I think it could not be a more exciting time to be people who translate complex information for the everyday person. So, as we look ahead beyond just the mentoring program, I hope you'll join us on our journey as we all learn what this is going to look like, the role of AI and just the immediacy of information we have and how the web is changing. So, I think it's an exciting time to be part of this special group, and I hope you guys are, feeling energized about what lies ahead. You're also allowed to be afraid. Don't worry. Anxiety is also a hallmark of this collective group, along with weird amounts of imposter syndrome, because everyone here's great, but it does happen. I got Julia. Ha, yes.
On that note, same
Definitely
because
been there.
same, an unmentioned part of my story is that I was a say yes to cool new things person, but also I was a in times of need, just I would have a next mentoring call with Bethany. It's like, oh, how are things going? I'm like, how do I run meetings again? I forgot how to interact with people. Or
Or my
how do I
favorite,
write, how do I do docs?
what if ever, does everyone hate me? No, John.
Common question for me.
Oh,
So
we have a chiming in for the chat. You decided exactly how I feel. Very anxious yet excited. Yes. And they won't always be in balance, but that's okay. It's all
I've
about the
been,
journey.
yeah, I've been instilling, I guess like behind the scenes, I've been, I've been the Star Wars do it person a little bit, being like, instilling in the new leaders, yes, annoy people, be out there,
Yeah.
like ping everybody all the time. Maybe that's me liking, maybe I've gone too far into the dark side of like everyone will
LinkedIn.
get 10 messages about everyone will get 10 messages about the meeting. That's what I grew into. But I guess maybe that's a good thing. I started very, very shy, and then over time I became a marketing monster through through aggressive encouragement. So yeah, mentoring will do good, question mark. Thanks to you.
You will be changed.
You
Is
will be
the takeaway.
like it or not.
All right. Well, so far people haven't left the call, so we haven't managed to scare them off yet. But we're still open to the opportunity. John, you want to share a little bit about our next steps?
Sure. Yes. And I got told in the chat, Rue said, nice alliteration. Oh, marketing monster. I didn't think about that. I'm gonna put that as like my resume title from now on.
Update your LinkedIn.
Update my LinkedIn. Yeah, update
LinkedIn would
everything.
love that.
They would. Yeah, exactly. That's such a good like opening line. Um, Sorry, I was gonna go into story time again. Maybe at the end. But
Maybe at the end.
yeah, but next steps, applying to the program. So we're about to open up our mentoring program application. We have the form ready and everything. We're just about to send out the link. And basically, you can apply online for free. It's just one form where we gather your contact information and your interest, what you're studying or what your field is or what job you're looking into. Or if you're a mentor, of course, everything on the flip side. But yeah, if we just gather your information, your interest, things like that, even your availability, all sorts of things that will help us kind of get um, essential information from you, get a deeper understanding of who you are, what you need, and we use that to pair you with a mentor, and vice versa. So the information is just used by us, our coordinators. So me and Bethany will be looking through the applicants after we open it up for 2 weeks. So from now until 2 Tuesdays from now, we'll be opening it up. So we'll be looking through all of that at the end of the 2 week period, making the pairings. Sometimes there's an uneven number, but we do our best to work through that and do as much recruitment as we can so that everybody gets a mentor who can help them reach their goals in tech comm, their career, the industry, so on and so forth. So 2 weeks from now, once again, is October 21st. So once we release the forms, we ask that everyone submit that by the end of that day, or as early as you can, just so that we can even get a little bit of a head start on things, a read on what the numbers are looking like and who to pair up. And yeah, after that 2 week period is over, we will be doing kickoffs, which are the official meetings where we pair you up with your mentor or mentee. And we try to get it all done in one big call. Sometimes we split it up, but our ideal time is by the end of October. So you can look out for information about the kickoff a little bit after the application deadline. And then, yeah, we'll loop you into a call. We try to like to keep it a little bit of a surprise, like, oh, you don't know who your mentor or mentee is yet, but you'll meet them in the call. And then that's the time when you'll be able to just do introductions and start to plan things out a little bit. We try to keep it casual, keep it fun, but that's our kind of space for having you officially be welcomed into the program after all this background work is done. And some of the next steps following that, if you're accepted into the program, we are able to find a pair for you. We bring you into the kickoff meeting. We ask that you just sign up for ATD membership. So the student cost is $10. The new professionals can join as well for an increased price. But if you are joining, we want you to be part of ATD membership as a prerequisite. And yeah, then we'll make sure that you're in the Zoom call and have everything that you need to start off a good mentoring relationship. We're going to talk a little bit more about, what the program entails, but we pretty much said the gist of it, which is once you're kicked off, you're paired with your mentor or mentee. Then for the rest of the school year, we do more of a hands-off approach, but we use the kickoff call as an opportunity to say, plan out main things that you want to start discussion about or start working working on together, and then we can kind of pace it from there. You can meet once a month. You can message in between. It's a really flexible program, but all this build-up work is for the sake of, yeah, getting your information. 2 weeks pass, we pair you up, bring you into a kickoff meeting by the end of the month, and then the rest of the year is just a wide open range of opportunity for you and your mentor to work on things together and really cultivate a great mentoring relationship.
All
And the
right.
application itself is free on that note too. So applying is
Okay.
free, and then once you're accepted, we ask that you join ATD membership. You can beforehand, of course, if we've already given you just
Yeah,
the
you're
encouragement.
sold.
If you're already sort of like, oh, I love this group here. Like I trust them and they're not sinister at all.
Yeah, and the
But
mentors are not
yeah.
just us in like different hats. I promise there are other people.
Oh yeah, there are more. I think you said you make them in a lab, Bethany. Yeah, we have
No,
more, so
I
don't
said
worry.
we haven't figured that out yet, but someday
Uh, right. Someday,
we'll start
someday.
hatching.
I don't like that. But yes, we have more.
Well, a lot of the time it typically ends up kind of like myself and Bethany, where you were a mentee. Now you have graduated to become a mentor.
Yes, it's
Sometimes, of
true.
course, we do branch out in our network and say, "Hey, we had more students than we thought we would this time. Can you consider mentoring one of them?" And most of the time, we get either a yes or I'll think about it. I don't know that I have time right this second, but I'll let you know later.
Or my favorite, when Joy applied, I said to Julia, I think you're ready to be a mentor. And also, I think I have the perfect mentee for you. No pressure, but just you guys would be great together. So sometimes we just know.
There's that, and there's also the reaction I gave of, I don't know that I'm ready. What does this entail? Please
I'm like,
explain more. I need to know what I'm doing. I don't think I know what I'm doing, but
oh, yeah. And the
as it turns out, I did.
yeah. And the expectation for is that no one has all the answers. I've said this before in my mentoring. I always hope that my mentees can make more interesting mistakes than I have. So happy to share what I've done along the way. We have a question. What are the requirements of a mentor? So, at our baseline, we ask for 3 years of experience at TechCom. I think for most people, it's 5 or more typically. And they don't have to be an active professional. We have sometimes have members who have recently retired who join us as well. And then just a willingness to participate in the program, including the time investment to meet with the mentee, to give portfolio reviews, job shadowing, whatever the mentee needs, and someone who just has a heart for it as well. And generally, most of our mentors have been in Florida, but like mentioned, sometimes we have had mentors join us from the far wilds of California, even. Lori Meyer is one of our great members who has mentored from California for us previously. But we do not have a lot of hard and fast requirements, but they are people that we know who mostly have mentored for us before or that we know from other volunteering efforts. So, not randos off the street, I promise. Sorry, that wasn't a very that wasn't a very good.
Yeah. I mean, hey, get in my car. You want to be a mentor? We haven't done that yet. So
That's the ticket.
that's what we're missing. Exactly.
So we have a question. Do you think this would be a good option for students who feel they are super busy already? Double major, heavy classes, 20 hours part-time job. Great question. I feel like this is going to be a learn from my mistakes option, but maybe not. I worked and did FTC and I did Sigma Tau Delta and I did a like 20-hour course load through my undergrad and I did make time for mentoring and I feel that was time well spent. I did, however, also do way too much. So maybe that's my recommendation was it worked great for me. I just got completely overwhelmed and had a couple of complete breakdowns. And I thought that's part of the process. And now I've learned time management and balancing things. But I will say for the time investment, it can be a couple hours a month between having a call and catching up here and there over Messenger. There's not an expectation that you are putting hours every week into your mentoring relationship. But if you want to chat, I'm also happy to offline about concerns. I'd love for you to get the opportunity. But at the same time, we have had people who have applied for the program and then found that it just didn't fit with their schedule. And in those cases, it's a little disappointing for the mentor, but we understand. So I guess I'd see if you feel that there's time you could carve out that you would be able to invest, basically. Does that sound
And
about right?
um, yeah, and from my perspective, I personally, when I was a mentee, would dedicate 1 hour on top of our weekly hour-long call, so a total of 2 hours a week.
Mm.
But we do leave it entirely up to the mentor and mentee. If all you have is 5 minutes to shoot off an email during the week to touch base, cool. if once a month you do meet for an hour or half an hour and you and your mentor believe that's just right for us, then cool. It's up to you to decide.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the good thing is that mentoring pairs can always function in any shape or size. Like Julia said, it can be meeting once a week or meeting once a month, just meeting by emails. Yeah, and it can just be based on needs or also wants. Some of our considerations, you can put a note like that on the form, like, oh, this is my availability. And maybe there's a mentor who says, oh, maybe my work is demanding, but I can meet do 1 or 2 meetings per month, something like that. That could be a great pair, and the schedules align. So, yeah, I think just putting a note of that, and you definitely get benefit out of it, even if it's just based on your schedule. And yeah, we've had both mentors and mentees who have like been on the busier side and definitely make things work. We usually do have a recommendation of just for regularity meeting about once a month, but it's not something that we enforce. And of course, you can do more, or you can shift it around as needed.
Yeah, and it depends on where you are in your journey. If you're actively job searching, you might be investing more time. Or whereas if you're kind of just more preparing, getting information about what it's like working as a professional or what's out there in tech comm, that's the sort of thing that can be useful as well. We have the last question on the form. I'm unsure how to answer that from Rue.
Oh, I
Reminding
can pull that
myself,
up.
I don't have the form memorized.
Here we go.
Oh,
I had
it's
it pulled
the
up.
how. Please explain how you're planning to contribute to the mentoring program.
Yeah, typically on the mentor side, that looks like, yeah, just bringing in kind of like the soft skills of like willingness to learn, excitement to learn more about tech comm.
Hmm.
Sometimes that's an encouraging piece that we tell our mentors, like, oh, this mentee like really wants to focus on the learning piece, or this mentee really wants to focus on the practice piece, or this mentor wants both, or this mentor is just excited, happy to be here. Yes, or being a sponge, like, it's yes, exactly. So that can be just something that we put in and just have as a way to get a better background and context on everyone who's applying.
Well, and also to clarify, mentoring is a relationship, right? It's not you don't receive mentoring. It's not like from the mountaintop the wisdom comes down to you. It's interactive, it's engagement. So we're asking, what do you expect to bring to that as well because it's reciprocal. Mentors learn from their mentees as well. John and Julia probably teach me more than I have could possibly teach them now. They've harvested all of my wisdom and now I am here to receive new information. But we often say, you get out what you put in. So it's not meaning you have to like grind, to have a good mentoring relationship, but it's another human being that you're asking questions and you're coming up with ideas on what you want to do and getting their feedback. So, what are you looking to bring to that? All right. Any other questions? These are good questions. Then I think I'll go to our last slide. So do you have any questions later? We are still reachable and we exist beyond the confines of this Zoom call. You can find us. Actually, I'm probably the easiest to find if you're just looking across the internet. John has doppelgangers with his name.
There are
So
many Johns out there.
there are
Too
many Johns.
many.
But Julia's put in the chat as well our emails. The first is the TechCom at ATD Suncoast email, then my personal email, John's, and Julia's as well. So if you think of a question later, or if you have something that's just more specific and personal, you want to run by us as it relates to mentoring, feel free. And, look forward to seeing those who choose to join in our program.
And I'll also add in a couple of Discord links in case anyone isn't in either. Those are good ways to chat with the community, or for any of us, we're in each of those channels if you have a quick question. But yeah, email is a good way to reach us. When you submit the form, we get a notification. We'll look over all of those. So yeah, multiple ways to reach us. Email, Discord, and first and foremost, yeah, getting that form in after or in this 2 week period.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining. And yeah, We look forward to getting all your applications, answering any questions. But yeah, we're happy to be here and to just be of service to you as you apply to this program.